More frequently than I care to have had happen, I encounter information about past cases or efforts specifically connected to financial fraud, where the people investigating, and sometimes even people in Congress, senators, congresspeople, understand the profundity of the crime. And over again, throughout at least the last 30 years, you see the same corporate persons recycling fees. As a matter of fact, right here, I just turned to it. Case study from 2013 concerning $1.4 billion that was assessed to Goldman Sachs. Wasn't there just a $1.4 billion fine assessed to another company? As a matter of fact, there was, and as it turns out, that company is listed right here. Seven other firms, and then it names the firms, published analyst reports described by the SEC as, quote, misleading, end quote, and were handed somewhat lesser penalties. No. Sounds like what happened is they waited, what, 15 years? In 15 years, they just swapped that fine to another company. Where these guys all get away with routinely over and over again, just recirculating expropriated and stolen assets from people all over the world. I've only personally been watching this and tracking it directly for the last 4.5, 5 years. Some of these people have been doing it for what, 20, 30? And over again, these people in the same position say the same thing. They got away with a slap on the wrist. I'm sure after a amount of time, you probably get jaded. Might even make a buy-in. How do you go, for instance, from being the inspector general to being somebody that's alleged to be trying to set policy, doing the same things that years previously you had been trying to get busted for criminal charges? We are way past the point of allowing for these penalties to just be recirculated amongst the same corporate persons. It's gone too far. They say here, this is the way they begin this particular chapter. What they say is, it represented an attempt to win back the trust of investors after years of naked conflicts of interest and deep corruption. That's not true. Apparently, this bust happened in 2003. This was after September 11th of 2001. If we actually are honest, we understand now that 2001 was a strategic capital outlay concerning a recapitulation of the global financial industry based upon a temporary time frame during which the federal government was supposed to provide terrorist risk insurance, while other means within the financial industry were allowed to cover up for completely illegal and unconscionable processes connected to the outlay of the digital economy and the defrauding of the terrorist risk insurance program with private insurance, including things like sexual harassment insurance and cyber insurance, which have been intentionally and strategically recapitulated in order to cover up for crime that wasn't prosecuted. It was allowed to be characterized as risk, and now we've leveraged it to the point where the economic disparity is so significant, we literally have to launch a global bioterror attack in order to cover up for it. No, there's no way that this is a civil case, and this is no way it is about some sort of compensatory fine that's just going to recalibrate metrics for the culprits. We've gone too far. 2003 was 10 years after the 1993 Omnibus Reconciliation Act, which is the core of a lot of what's going on right now. 2013 was when changes occurred to the ICD-10 codes in the United States when it came to diagnostic coding for healthcare treatment and bundling of Medicare services when it came to processing billing. And 2023 is a year wherein major energy sector players, especially in the gas and oil sector, are going to be finalizing what were supposed to be short-term loans taken out during a time frame when the Office of the Comptroller of Currency recorded that the United States real estate market was leaving the time frame during which people were paying on interest and entering to a time frame when they were paying on principal at increasing rates. That was the credit those sectors took those loans out on. And now, well, you can't even find those original comptroller of currency reports unless you acquired them at the time and entered them as evidence and allowed your evidence to be kept somewhere that it can't be tampered with. They're not getting away with it.